Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on the video, and please do not forget to hit that red subscribe down below. So today's video topic is my favorite film from every single year that I've been alive. And a lot of other YouTubers, movie reviewers have been covering this topic. So why not me? So let's get started. We've got a lot of movies to cover because we're going all the way back to 1980, the year I was born. And my favorite film from 1980 is 9 to 5. Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin. These three ladies. It was my first memory of female comedy done extremely well and natural. It was not fake. Their chemistry was amazing. They just fed off of each other. And that film has really stuck with me over the years. And if it's on TV, I usually do end up watching it wherever it is in the film. And obviously the chemistry between Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda was always there because now we have Grace and Frankie on Netflix. So I love those three ladies. 1981, we have Mommy Dearest. And I know it is an odd choice. Do not think I'm crazy. I put it on the list because it is such a guilty pleasure movie, is what I like to call it. Faye Dunaway is so out there in her performance as Joan Crawford. Now, we honestly don't know. Was Joan Crawford this crazy? Did her daughter exaggerate it? We really have no idea because she's not around to defend herself. But this film is just so campy to its finest. It's one of the campiest films I've ever seen. And it just astounds me every single time that I watch it. It's very highly entertaining. 1982 is The Last Unicorn. This is an animated film that I must have watched a billion times growing up. I fell in love with the story. I fell in love with the unicorn, and that actually made me believe in unicorns when I was younger. I thought they really existed, and it's just a beautiful story. Absolutely loved it. 1983, we have Terms of Endearment. This film is full of break your heart moments, powerhouse performances by Shirley MacLaine, Jack Nicholson, Deborah Winger. If you are a mom and daughter, you can't not watch it without crying. You really, really can't. It is gut-wrenching. It is heartbreaking, but in a good way. It just does something to you. And I need to watch this film at least once a year. Like, I love Shirley MacLaine. I think she is ginormously talented. She's given some great performances over the years. 1984 is 16 Candles. This was the beginning of the Molly Ringwald craze. And I identified with it because I watched it when I was a teenager, a little later in life. And it's really every teenage girl stuck in that moment where you feel like your parents don't understand you or they don't pay attention to you enough and your friends don't get you. You're kind of a loner and you're having all these thoughts. It's so relatable. And that's what I really loved about this film. 1985 is The Breakfast Club, going again with John Hughes. He is incredible with his writing and directing. It was so ahead of his time. The Breakfast Club, I must have worn out that VHS tape because I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I adored this film. I watched it so many times. 1986 is Three Amigos. Steve Martin, Martin Short, Chevy Chase. This film is just funny. You are going to laugh your butt off. If you have never seen this film, go out and rent it. God, what decade am I in? Watch it. It really is like a foundation film of comedy, you know, with such powerhouse comedians as those three actors are. It's one of the foundation comedy films. That's all I gotta say. It's brilliant. I love it. 1987, my favorite is Moonstruck. I adore Moonstruck. And the reason is because it is based on the story of the lives of this Italian American family. And I'm Italian. I have grown up in a household just like this. This film is dead on accurate in so many ways on how Italians live, the Italian culture, the food, the sayings, the phrases. It's like I'm watching my own family, to be honest. And this is why I love and adore Moonstruck, is because it's so relatable. And I thought Cher was amazing. And yes, she did deserve to win that Oscar for Moonstruck. 1988 is coming to America. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones. I mean, even thinking about this film, I start laughing. Eddie Murphy showcases his talent unbelievably with so many different characters that he's playing, as well as Arsenio Hall. He makes me laugh. I crack up. It doesn't matter how many times I watch this. I've seen this so many times. I laugh from my toes with this film. It is so hilarious. And they're making a sequel. So I am really wondering if it's going to hold up as many years later. We'll see about that. 1989, Steel Magnolias. This film runs the gamut of emotions. You are going from laughing to crying to laughing again. Your heart is going through the ringer and you're loving every second of it. This film, the powerhouse casting of Sally Field, Julia Roberts, Olympia Dukakis, Shirley MacLaine, Dolly Parton, and Daryl Hannah. This was a dream cast. I have seen it multiple times. It never gets old. There's just no amount of words to describe that film, of how much I love it. I just love it. 1990, Goodfellas. Now, as I mentioned, I am Italian, come from an Italian family. I just love a good, well done mob movie, and Goodfellas is right at the top of the list. I love this film. Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. I adore Joe Pesci in this film. He's so talented. So talented. I cannot wait to see The Irishman because he's coming out of retirement for that film. I am so excited about that. 1991, Silence of the Lambs. This film was like crazy, and the performances were phenomenal by Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. Oh my God, like incredible. The directing was incredible. It deserved every single Oscar it won that year. 1992, My Cousin Vinny. Speaking of Joe Pesci, here's the comedic Italian side to Joe Pesci. Again, dead on accurate with how Italians are portrayed. I loved that Marissa Tomei won Best Supporting Actress for this film because it proves comedy can win too. Okay, comedy is just as hard as a drama. It needs to be recognized more, and I am so glad that she won that award for that performance. 1993 is Jurassic Park, simply because the special effects that they used, or the visual effects, to bring this movie to life was incredible. You never saw anything like it in your entire life. And of course it was done by Steven Spielberg. I mean, it just based on the technological factor alone, jumped this film to the very top of the list because it was so ahead of its time. 1994 is The Lion King. Who does not love and adore The Lion King? Absolutely, hands down, my favorite Disney film and my favorite film of 1994. 95 is Casino, yet another very well done mob movie. 1996 is Scream. Now, I am not a horror fan by any means. However, I went and saw this film with my friends from high school. We all went together and I was very nervous about it. And once it got going, I wanted more and more and more. I love Scream. I do like the franchise as a whole. Scream is my favorite, obviously. But it was groundbreaking with the horror comedy aspect. It really changed the game as far as how horror films are made, how characters are portrayed, and I just thought it was brilliant. 1997 is Boogie Nights. Actually, this film was on a couple of nights ago. I had forgotten about Boogie Nights. I rewatched it. Man, it is just so good. Mark Wahlberg in one of his very first acting roles. You got Burt Reynolds, Julianne Moore. I mean, an all-star ensemble doing a film about the porn industry. What more do you need to say? I mean, I think it's kind of a bit of an underrated film. Not a lot of people talk about it anymore or how it was groundbreaking. I loved that movie. I thought it was just so good. 1998 is The Wedding Singer. I am not the biggest fan of Adam Sandler. However, this film, I think it's because Drew Barrymore really saved this film because of her chemistry with Adam Sandler. I just thought their chemistry was awesome and I love to laugh. I am naturally a funny person. I love comedy. And this it's one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites. I watch it probably at least 2 times a year. It never gets boring to me. 1999, we're getting a little serious now. Boys Don't Cry. This was the breakout role for Hilary Swank, number 1. Number 2, the subject matter was very important at the time because around that time, and I want to put this delicately because I know it is a sensitive subject, around this time, being another sexual orientation was really being discussed. It was brought out more. Being gay or lesbian, bisexual, transgender, cross-dresser, all these different, different sexualities and, exploration of yourself. And I thought this movie was so important in movie history because not only are they addressing the topic, but also you are not portraying, but you are telling someone's real true life story. It's a horrific movie. It's a horrific death about a woman, Brandon Tina, who was just trying to be herself and just wanted to be accepted for being herself. And unfortunately, she was killed. But I just thought it was a very, very important movie for 1999. And so that is why it's my favorite from that year. All right, let's not get too serious. Let's get back to the lightheartedness. So 2000, Castaway. This film proves that you only need one phenomenal actor, Tom Hanks, and a volleyball, and you've got a movie. 2001 is Moulin Rouge. Nicole Kidman, Ewan McGregor. The sets, the costumes, the songs. I was in love. From the minute it started to the very second that it ended, it captivates you. You are engrossed in this film. It's beautiful to look at, and I wanted more. I just adored Moulin Rouge. 2002 is Chicago. Again, a musical. Renee Zellweger, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Richard Gere. It just didn't stop going. Once it started, it was very captivating. It never got boring. And I probably watch it at least once a year. 2003 is Monster. Charlize Theron won the Oscar for Best Actress that year. And her performance is top 5 Best Actress performances of all time to me with this film. Her portrayal of Eileen Wuornos is incredible. The way she got her speech down, her mannerisms, her look, her attitude, everything. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm pulling Italian. It's phenomenal. Incredible. That's like an aspiration. Like, I want to be like Charlize Theron in Monster. If you're like an aspiring actress, like, she's just incredible in that film. 2004, I'm going with Saw. And as I mentioned, I'm not the biggest horror fan, but again, my husband pulled me to the theater to watch this film. I didn't want to. However, at the very end, when the twist is revealed and everyone's like, "Oh my god, he was there the entire time." I love movies that can twist and you don't know where it's going. You thought you knew, you don't know. I love surprise endings, and the movie Saw, like, just changed the horror genre. How Scream changed it in 96, Saw changed it in 2004. Incredible. 2005, we're going wicked funny with The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I mean, it's a very simple concept for a film, and it was so well done with all of these actors that are so well known now. Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen, Leslie Mann. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it was brilliant. Like I said, I love to laugh. I love comedy. This movie, right up my alley. Love it. 2006 is The Devil Wears Prada, simply because Meryl Streep is portraying an Anna Wintour type character. I don't need to say anything else. Okay, let's move on. 2007, Knocked Up. In the same vein as The 40-Year-Old Virgin, I loved Knocked Up as well. It was hilarious. Seth Rogen is just unbelievably funny. Katherine Heigl, that was her breakout role into movies, and then she messed it all up. Anyway, moving on. 2008, we're going with The Dark Knight, simply because of Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker. That is probably my number one favorite portrayal as the Joker. Number two is Jack Nicholson, because that's original and iconic, and he was just incredible. But Heath Ledger just took it in his own way, his own portrayal, different but similar. It was brilliant. And the movie as a whole was just highly entertaining. There's always something going on. You never like got bored. You're looking at like all these different things. And it was such a wonderful accomplishment by Christopher Nolan. Incredible. 2009, I'm going with The Hangover. Bradley Cooper, Zach Galifianakis, Ed Helms. I mean, how can you not? How can you not? I probably watch this film 2 to 3 times a year, pretty much when it's on TV, when I'm flipping through. I'll have it on as background noise while I'm doing chores or something. It never gets old. It never gets boring. All right. We're in the 2010s, people. We're almost there. 2010 is Toy Story 3. Now, at the time, we thought that was the end of the trilogy. Now, I had never seen any of the Toy Stories. I watched all of them preparing to watch Toy Story 4 and do my review. So I recently watched all of them. And I do have to say, Toy Story 3 is amazing. And it really rips your heart out at the very end, because Andy is giving all of his toys to Bonnie. And at the time, everyone thought, well, this is it. This is the end of the trilogy. And it's so sad. But then we got Toy Story 4. But I hope they ended Toy Story 4. No more. Because Toy Story 4, in my opinion, is the end of the road. 2011, The Help. Because it drops some knowledge on my brain about things I did not know about, and I love when movies can do that. But also, the performances. You have 5 powerhouse performances in one film. Viola Davis is a revelation. I have no idea why she did not win Best Actress for this film. She was completely robbed. Octavia Spencer, Emma Stone, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Jessica Chastain. I wanted all of them to win an Oscar. I really did, because they all deserved it. I love and adore this film. 2012, I had to go with The Avengers. I had to go with The Avengers. This was the first film where all of our main 6 Avengers were put into one movie. Joss Whedon at the helm, writing it, directing it. It was an iconic moment. 2013, I'm going with the Heat, Sandra Bullock, and Melissa McCarthy. I just love to laugh. This film, when I first saw it in the theater, I don't think I've ever laughed that hard at a film. I just thought it was so funny, so hilarious, and it's very rewatch. Sorry, my notes are going everywhere. It's very rewatchable for me. I can watch it again and again and again, and I never get bored of it. I adored Melissa McCarthy in this film. I thought she was brilliant, and their chemistry was off the charts. And because of that, they now have a lifelong friendship. So that's amazing. 2014, we're going with John Wick, because this summer I discovered the John Wick franchise because I went to go and see John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum without seeing the other 2 because I was bored one day. And I said, oh, I'll go see this. Amazing. Amazing. Keanu Reeves is like now my boyfriend of the summer. I adore him. And so I went and bought 1 and 2, watched them both. Oh my God. I just love him. I love the film. I love the nonstop action. It's like really nonstop in Chapter 3, but I just loved the action. I love a good action film. And Keanu Reeves, man, you just like, I think I adore him so much, like as a boyfriend figure, because I want him to fight for me like that. And I think every woman wishes that. So I think that's why the film, and it's just so like, you just want that to be your boyfriend, your man fighting for you, you know? So 2015 is Furious 7. And I kind of joined the Fast and the Furious franchise a little late in the game, but Furious 7 is special because of the death of Paul Walker and how they had to complete the film without him and how they dealt with writing him out of the series and the last scene in the film, everything about it. Because you knew what was coming at the very end. You knew that he wasn't going to be around anymore. And it was just overwhelming. And I did see this in the theater, and I thought it was wonderful. It was a great, respectful tribute to Paul Walker. 2016, we're almost there, guys. 2016 is Captain America Civil War. This film was important to the MCU because it was the introduction of our new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, into the current MCU. And I just loved it. The airport scene is iconic. You have the Avengers fighting each other instead of a villain. And it was just amazing to watch. 2017 is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Can I just say that this film was so robbed of winning Best Picture? It so deserved it. I tried watching The Shape of Water. That's the film that won that year. I couldn't do it. I thought it was stupid. I'm like, this won Best Picture? Really? I mean, 3 Billboards has such amazing, stellar performances by Frances McDormand, my other boyfriend, Sam Rockwell, and Woody Harrelson. It was unbelievably amazing and incredible. They deserve the Oscars that they won that year. Oh my God, I can't say enough about this movie. When it's on, I put it on because it's incredible. Really is. 2018, Bohemian Rhapsody. I adore Queen. I've always loved Freddie Mercury ever since I was little. And when I heard that they were making a biopic about Freddie and being a part of Queen, I was so down for it. I was like, yes, but I was also praying, please don't let the guy playing Freddie mess this up. And he did not. Rami Malek was a genius in his portrayal of Freddie. I was so proud of him. He portrayed him with such respect and honor, and it was a joy and a pleasure to watch this film. And I have watched it plenty of times in the last year, and it's unbelievable, just unbelievable. And we are down to 2019, our current year, and I know it's not over yet. However, I really do not think any other film this year is going to be my favorite besides Avengers Endgame. And that is because I went and saw Avengers Endgame 4 times in the theater, and it affected me every single time I was there. That is my definition of the best movie or your favorite movie of the year. When I watch Avengers Endgame, I cry, number one, but I also laugh in different parts where I either missed it or I forgot about it. And the Russo brothers, as the directors, really did the fans a service by putting in so much content that we wanted to see, like Captain America saying Avengers Assemble and wielding Mjolnir and just doing all of those things that we wanted to see, and Stan Lee's last cameo performance. I mean, my God. And plus, it's now the number one movie of all time. And I cannot wait to buy the DVD on Tuesday. And so thank you for staying with me. I at least hope that you did and tried. I know I am old, 38, 39. However, I hope you enjoyed my list. Do you agree with me? Are a lot of these movies your favorites? And if not, what are your favorites from some of the years? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you at the movies.